This podcast will focus on improving the hiring decision-making as you build the right team you need in the face of COVID-19. Welcome to Business Breakthroughs, conversations with your host, Larry Prince, CEO of Prince Leadership. I'm Barry Cohen. If you're looking for ways for your business to grow, restore, and renew during these turbulent and uncertain times, Larry is the person who will share how to break through. The aim of these podcasts is to find those breakthrough moments that translate to sustainable growth and a new normal in the face of COVID-19. Welcome, Larry.
Thanks, Barry.
Larry, what do you say to the business owner or executive who says, how do I boost the talent pool of my company to grow the business?
Well, Barry, good morning. Nice to talk to you again today. One of the most underrated functions of running a business is the process of interviewing and making sound hiring decisions. It amazes me how arbitrary the hiring process is with too many companies. Building a strong talent base begins with hiring the right people.
Do you have an example to share?
Absolutely. I was facilitating a year-end planning meeting with the management team of a middle market healthcare client when the director of a department stepped out to hold an interview. She was back in just 10 minutes, so I assumed that the interview did not occur. To the contrary, she told me that she not only completed the interview in less than 10 minutes, she actually gave the candidate an offer.
And how did that new hire work out?
That person didn't last a month, which didn't surprise me. Every time, Barry, we make a poor hiring decision, we cost our company time, we cost our company money, and we disrupt the people working in that organization. That's why it's imperative to get the hiring process right, which I call hire well, live well.
I like that, Larry. Hire well, live well. Larry, have you ever made the mistake of making a bad hiring decision?
I sure have, Barry. In fact, I knew 5 minutes after the person started in her new role that I made a bad decision. In hindsight, I realized that my gut told me during the interview process not to hire her, and I didn't listen to my gut.
Then why did you make that hire?
Because I was fooled by her resume. I made the fatal flaw of hiring impressive bullets on a piece of paper.
What are other common interviewing mistakes?
Barry, here are just a few. First, not determining the type of person you want to hire in advance of the recruitment process. Another, interviewing superficially and not digging deeper into the behaviors and past experiences that may predict future behaviors and results. Also, when we hire in our own image, we miss the opportunity to broaden the diversity and thinking within our company. And Barry, perhaps the biggest issue of all is filling a position too quickly. Sometimes the pressure to make a hiring decision overrides common sense.
Thanks, Larry. That's a heck of a list. So my understanding is the pressure to fill a position quickly is quite high in organizations that are not large in size. Just get a body in seems to be the thinking too often. Then what are your recommendations for boosting the interview and hiring decision-making?
Well, Barry, the first step is thinking strategically about the type of people and talent you want in your company, which means not to just hire a resume, but to hire a person who best fits that company and the team. We should hire for the right set of behaviors. We should hire for diverse experiences, and we should hire for attitude. Hire the best person.
That makes sense. How about the interviewing process and types of questions that we ask candidates?
Barry, too often we spend our time asking questions about the statements printed on the resume. Yet research shows that the best employees gain great satisfaction in the work they do each day. That's why it is important to ask questions to assess if the candidate will be both good at their job, but also gain great satisfaction from the work itself. If we ask questions with that in mind, we are targeting our approach leading to stronger hires.
All right, so then, Larry, what is the method for asking good questions?
Well, Barry, years ago, an organization, DDI, established that past behavior predicts future behavior and results. I recommend we ask questions within categories that line up to match the position.
All right, so explain a little more.
Well, Barry, for example, if we hire a new sales professional, we should ask questions related to previous sales challenges and what the candidate did to overcome those challenges. I encourage asking questions in a particular format. It's called SAR, Situation, Action, and Results. Applying the SAR method, a good question to ask might be, tell me a time where you had a challenging sales situation. with an important potential client. What was that situation? What action did you take? And what were the results?
I got it. The answer to the question will help you determine if the candidate is the right fit for the position because their past behaviors in handling the situation can predict whether or not the candidate can do that in the position you're filling.
Very exactly. When we prepare in advance and ask a series of behavior-based questions employing the SAR method, and within specific job categories, we give ourselves the best chance of predicting success in the new position.
That's smart.
So what I recommend are particular categories that make sense. For example, ask behavior-based questions around initiative, teamwork, results, adaptability, communications, and even overcoming obstacles.
All right, so Larry, if you would, finish up our discussion today with a few more key tips.
Sure, Barry. First, do not rush the interview process. Stop holding these 20, 30-minute quick interviews, thinking you know enough about the person to make a decision. Set at least an hour aside and plan in advance the behavior-based questions we discussed. Now, also, don't rely on yourself to make the decision. Have someone else in the company you trust evaluate the person, and then compare notes. Data shows we make better hiring decisions when we have a peer help us with the process. And Barry, last, if the candidate does not feel right, do not hire that person. Your gut has figured something out, even if your mind needs to catch up. Go with your gut.
Larry, you shared important hiring insight with us today, which will clearly address building a strong talent pool with the aim of growing the business.
Barry, pleased to help. Remember this, all that is great with great companies begins with hiring the right people and setting them up for success.
Thanks, Larry. So if you're committed to growing and restoring your business in the face of COVID-19, go to princeleadership.com or call Larry directly at 973-670-6304. That's princeleadership.com or call 973-670-6304.